How's it going, everyone? Sweetchins is back, and Dragon Age Inquisition is soon to be released. Finally. So, if you didn't know, Dragon Age Inquisition soon to be released late November. For us Brits, it's like 22nd. For you Americans or anywhere else, I don't know, maybe it's like the 18th of November. So you lucky bitches get to get it like a week earlier than me. You assholes. But anyway, what should be a really exciting time when we all get together, we get so fucking excited, and we all say how excited we are, but some people ain't. Some people are being very negative. So there's a lot of, what do you call it, a bit of stick for Dragon Age Inquisition in a way. Don't worry, there's a lot of people supporting it, thinking it looks amazing, but then you get there's not a few people, it's just quite a lot of people that doubt it. Doubters, that's what you call them. D-O-U doubters. So a lot of people doubting this game is actually going to be good due to what Bioware's kind of done recently, and the main thing basically are Dragon Age 2 and Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3 for the ending because you choose a colour. Dragon Age 2 because it wasn't up to standards. And also the fact that EA own Bioware now, and they don't have the best track record in the world. And then there's the fact that multiplayer is being added on Dragon Age Inquisition. So some people they're kind of pissed. So the question is really, is Dragon Age Inquisition going to be good? In my opinion, I think it's going to be fantastic. But let's just explain why people doubt it and blah 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 blah. So first up, we have Dragon Age 2, the game, the sequel to Dragon Age Origins. So, in a way, Dragon Age Origins set the bar so high because it was kind of a game that just came out. And it was amazing. Like, I knew nothing about it, played it, loved it. There's no other games like them games at the moment. So, when it came out, it was amazing. It was a brilliant RPG. And it was awesome. Dragon Age 2 came out. It came out really soon after as well. It was like a year, I think. So that made people skeptical anyway. But anyway, we've got to play. We didn't get to choose a race. We had to play as Human Hawk. Bit piss taking because I think what everyone liked with Dragon Age Origins, forgetting what it was the fact you could customize your race, and that's because it was such a good RPG because you felt like that character was yours. Whereas Dragon Age 2, you felt like you was playing more of a story of someone, and people kind of felt they was riding off the success of Mass Effect with his character Shepard, because Mass Effect 2 did so well. Kind of felt like they was trying to use the same formula of Dragon Age, and it's not really what people wanted. Now, don't get me wrong. Everyone who slates Dragon Age 2 is only because of Origins. If that game had just come out like it wasn't nothing to do with Dragon Age and it was something else, it'd be considered a good game. It was a good game at the end of the day. It wasn't amazing, but it was good. The way I like to describe it, let's just say you have a student who's always getting A stars or A pluses or whatever, and then they get a B one time. Now, a B isn't a bad grade. It's very good. It's above average. But because you're used to that student getting A pluses or A stars, you don't look at it as good. You look at it as a bad grade. And that's basically what Dragon Age 2 was in a way, because it felt like a step backwards when sequels should always kind of feel like a step forward. And it didn't really follow on where we wanted, like the whole God Baby and Morrigan. So people, yeah, it's a little disappointing. But that's the thing, Dragon Age Inquisition, you see Morrigan again, and hopefully we're going to see God Baby if you had God Baby, or if Alistair had God Baby. God Baby. So that's one reason right there why Dragon Age Inquisition is looking pretty good, because they bring back Morrigan, who we really wanted to see in the last game, but we didn't. So we're seeing it now. And number two, why people are skeptical is because of Mass Effect 3. And I do think people kind of have to get over that. Don't get me wrong, it is an absolute piss take when you play 3 games. You play the trilogy, and they came out over some years. Mass Effect 1, couldn't believe how long ago that came out. I don't even remember when, but it come out pretty long ago. But Mass Effect 3, and then it was a piss take that was the ending you got. It felt like all the choices of 3 games should have all built up and given you your own sort of personalised ending. It didn't. It kind of just, you chose your ending, which wasn't good. You shouldn't have had to have even chosen. I don't know. Your ending. It should have just been all the choices add up together to equal this ending for you. Because then, in a way, that could have given replayability through the first 2 games if you was that hardcore. But yeah, that's why people got pissed. But then, let's be honest here. Mass Effect 3 wasn't a bad game. It was actually a really good game up until that point. It was actually an amazing game up until that point. That was the only thing that let it down. So I don't think you can get too, you know, pissed about it to an extent. Because it was a great game. And Bioware showed that they do still tell great stories. Mass Effect was awesome. But maybe their ending was a bit slapdash. Like, as long as Inquisition doesn't have that ending, I'll be happy. I think Dragon Age Origins did such a good ending. You literally wrapped up near on everything. Like, you got the text, the scripts coming up at the end saying what character's doing what, and that's what you want to know. I hate leaving it to think, use your imagination, what this character's doing now. It's like, no, you're the ones who created the characters. Tell me what the fuck they're doing now. I want to know. I've just spent like 50 hours getting invested in them, so tell me what they're doing. But yeah, so Mass Effect was still a good game, and I think Bioware is still showing they can make great games. Although 2 and 3 were more action-y orientated. Don't worry, I loved them, but I did like Mass Effect 1 because it felt more RPG-like, such as picking up new gear and stuff, and you know, that sort of leveling up system, where it becomes a bit more simplified with 2 and 3, in my opinion. But it was still an amazing game. Yeah, and that's the thing, like the whole action thing I think translated into Dragon Age 2 with the button mashing, and I didn't mind that because I quite like to feel like I'm physically doing the attack. So when I'm tapping that button, that I'm making the character do that instead of just saying attack this guy. But don't get me wrong, I hate that sort of game where you attack this guy and you don't really feel you have complete control of your character. But I mean, Origins did it perfect. I loved it, so I wouldn't have minded if that's what Inquisition was like. But I think they're still carrying on with the action button thingy majingy. Although you got a tactical camera, and that's what wasn't in 2. And it's a bit of a piss take because console players, we've got a tactical camera now. For us who can't afford the amazing PCs to run this game perfectly, because if you're not running on full end graphics, it's not worth it. So yeah, tactical cameras back, so it's more fun. Button mashing, don't get me wrong, it can be fun, but it's not the sort of game where you're doing stylized combos to win. It's more tactical, and the action thing works to an extent, but if you just rely solely on button mashing action gameplay, it's not going to work because the game requires you to be more tactical, and that was the fun of it. You get killed by bandits, and then you go back and then you start strategizing a tactic of having them equip bows and arrows, archers, and then shoot them, set a trap. And when you win the battle, every little battle felt like a mini boss battle in Origins in a way, because enemies were tough. You couldn't just walk through them. But then when you did kill them, you was like... And yeah, I think Inquisition's really gone back to that now, because like I said, they've got a tactical camera, but they still have the action thing, because at the end of the day, I think they are still trying to appeal to a broader audience. Because at the end of the day, you need to make that moolah, money. But it does look like it's back. I know they're saying... I don't think it's as hard as Origins, because Origins was kind of brutal. Even on normal. Nightmare, just don't even get me started. I never made it past the first enemy. But yeah, so personally, I think the combat still looks good. Because like I said, it feels like I'm physically interacting with the character. It's kind of like... If you've played Dynasty Warriors, you know how they kind of float when they run? And when you attack, it's if you're just hitting air, but there's an enemy there, so an action will happen. It doesn't feel like you're physically doing something. Whereas with Inquisition, it looks like you are. And the combat looks a lot better as well. I have to say, like, you can get a mage to freeze an enemy, and then if you use, like, I don't know, a heavy hammer attack, and then you whack them, it does, like, double damage or something. Like, it feels better. There's more reason to combine your party now with like mages to use these spells if you're using these attacks and whatnot. It's more, yeah, that in that way there's, and it's brought another dimension of tactics to the sense, I don't even know the words, to the extent that you can now combine combos with your fellow party members. Now, as I said before, Dragon Age 2 character customization, it was there, don't get me wrong, but you couldn't be an elf or a dwarf, and that was kind of piss taken. Not that I ever really want to play a dwarf, because I don't know why. I don't like playing small people. It's nothing against small people, by the way, because I'm kind of small myself. 5'7", it's not that tall. But with Inquisition, you can be human, elf, dwarf, Canary. 4 races, and this is something, okay, stay with me. At first, Inquisition, it was just going to be playing as a human character. You wasn't going to be able to be elf, dwarf or Canary. But then fans said they really wanted that, and guess what? They listened and they then created it. This is why the game kind of got delayed for a reason, one reason, whatever. Because you have to understand, creating animations for these different races, it's probably an absolute pain in the ass, and it costs a lot more money. So sometimes if I think they can get away with it, they take the easy way. But to me, it feels like they was like, no, we have to give people what they want, even if it doesn't bring in that much more of an audience or that many more sales. But people are going to love it that much more. But yeah, going back to customization, so you can be Canary now. We never got to be a Canary before, and I think that's awesome. Because of what happened in Dragon Age 2, I think I might like to play as a Canary, just because they're going to be like discriminated against, and you'll be like the saviour of the world, and they'll be like, oh my god, a Canary saved the world? Holy shit, maybe we shouldn't discriminate them. It's kind of what I do with my Origins character being an elf. I ended racism. It goes really into detail, the customization. Like, you can even pick, so you've got like the eye colour, and then you've got the outer eye colour. You can do all the positioning, you can do the scars, and you can even, so it's all different scars presets, and then you can even move them about, and then you can do face paint, you could do hair, do beards, because we all love a beard. I'm still trying to grow mine, but it comes out as bum fluff. So yeah, the start character customization, it looks amazing. You can watch videos on it, they're online. It looks properly in detail. It's probably one of the most in detail customizations I've ever seen in a game. And another thing you can do now, which I'm so happy about, is that if you find a better armor, but you don't like the look of it, like the look of your old armor, you can still, there's something like this, I might be a little bit wrong, but it is along these lines, that you can keep the look of the old armor, but the stats of the new armor, the better armor. And that's something I'm so happy about, because I'm so sick of it always being one amazing armor and you look like a fucking Michelin tank thing, you know, just like horns all coming out the armor. I don't always want to be like that. Sometimes I like the sort of rusted metal and the raggy kind of armor to show you've been through battles, instead of this gold plated, shining, gleaming, red flowing cape saying, look at me, I'm fabulous. So that's pretty awesome right there. Okay, and in, okay, going back to Dragon Age 2 now. In Dragon Age 2 you couldn't you like, on Origins you could put any armor on your companions. Dragon Age 2 you couldn't do it. That was an absolute piss take. It was annoying as hell. Number 3, Inquisition, you can do it, but they all have their own personalized look. So I don't know, I think there's some, just say it's called, you had an armor called Scout armor. On one character like Sarah, for example, it looked different, completely different to how it looks on the Iron Ball, because their personality comes through with how they wear their clothing, which is amazing. Because you think how much more time that must have taken for the animators to do. So to me that just shows Bioware care. So for me, customization is there. I'm happy about it, and I think I honestly, I'll probably spend the first 3 hours trying to create a character. Most likely I'll create one, play the game for about, probably longer, about 6 hours, and I'll be like, it doesn't look right, let's go back. The story of Inquisition is kind of hidden in a way. I know you're Inquisitor and the Fade's opening and all dragons are raining loose, but we've still got the things of Morrigan, Flemeth and Hawk, the Walden. But it feels like it's all coming together quite nicely. It doesn't feel like it's just something set in a completely new location where none of the old stories were relevant. Because in this one, our choices feel like from the previous game are going to matter in this game, which is amazing. Because it makes you feel like they care. Another point I want to bring up, and don't get me wrong, I do know this, graphics don't make a game, and yes, I know that. I get it, okay? But art style wise, Origins I thought looked fine. A lot of people said it looked shit, fair enough. Dragon Age 2 it got kind of cartoony, but now I feel like they found a nice balance with Inquisition, with how they want their art style to look. Like, if they continue this series, then they'll have a style where you can look at it and be like, oh, it's a Dragon Age game. Awesome. Also, I know your character speaks in this game, which maybe was annoying for people with Dragon Age 2, because when the text comes up, you read it out yourself and you pick a character out, making you feel more invested in your own character, more like him or her, I guess. But when the character's already got a voice, you kind of feel like maybe you're just filling their shoes, but the shoes don't belong to you. I don't know, I just made that up. But Dragon Age Inquisition, your character has a voice again, and it is a dialogue wheel, but it's more specific on what your choice of speech will lead to, instead of you picking something like hello, and then when he says it, he's like fuck off, and you're like what the hell? I did not intend that. And also each character, male has 2 different voices, American, British. Female has 2 different voices, American and British. Awesome. I feel like I can honestly go on for ages here, but there's another thing that I really love. It hasn't got level scaling no more, and I'm so freaking happy for that. Because you could basically, because it's oh yeah, it's kind of open world as well. How could I forget? It's not completely open world, but it's kind of open world. So yeah, roll with it. Anyway, level scaling is gone, and I'm so happy for that. I didn't like the fact that basically a bandit, don't remember, maybe they're still strong. Okay, what can we think of? A wolf. A wolf. When I get to level 20 and this wolf is still able to fuck me up, it's not fair. But now, sorry, my light has gone. It's back. Okay. But now level scaling's gone. It means that when you level up, the enemies don't level up with you. So you will become more powerful than them. Which, in turn, for example, you could adventure into an area and the creatures or monsters or whatever, sorry, Picasso, are just far too strong for you, and you need to come back later when you're a lot stronger, better equipped, and you can take them on. And I love that, because I know people hate grinding in games, but I actually love that. Kingdom Hearts, I don't know why, I loved grinding in that game, and when I'd come back to fight the boss when I was stronger, I'd feel like I was a Super Saiyan. It's that Dragon Ball Z effect. You know, when they get beaten by the guy, you then train your ass off, you come back, and then you're beating the shit out of them, and then you're merciful, and then they end up hitting you, and you're like, oh shit, I've got to train harder. So yeah, I'm just really happy for that, because it gives you a sense of, you might find an area that seems really cool and that, but you just can't take on the things there. So it gives you more, what do you call it, more reason to come back, and longer time to invest in the game, because instead of just going through the story, you might think, no, I really want to find out what's in this, so I'm going to train, spend a few hours doing this, then I'm going to go here, and you might get some awesome armor and that, and yeah, should be fun. One of my kind of concerns is with this game though is the romance options. It feels like if you're playing a straight character, there's just no good ones. I mean, Cassandra looks like a hard-faced bitch, and I don't know if I want to go down that route. Okay. But I personally would have preferred if, when I say it's bisexual, I don't mean it as in they like both genders, but if you played as the same gender as them, you could possibly romance them. If you play as the opposite gender, you can romance them, and then they're straight. So basically, depending on what gender you play is what they're romanceable as. But I know maybe for character development and story reasons, they've kept it more stricter to what their sex is, or sex preference is, or sexuality is. Why do I keep forgetting words today? Sorry about this. So yeah, they've kept it more strict to that line, but I don't know. I guess people say that doesn't make the game, but I don't know. It's kind of a good reason for me to play it, because you become that more invested in the character, and the story just feels that much richer when your character's got a romance, and it makes you feel more invested in your own character because you want them to be happy. One other thing, I know this game has multiplayer now, okay, and okay, it kind of pisses people off. But when you think about it, Dragon Age has always been a game that could have multiplayer, you know, party based. And Mass Effect had multiplayer. It was a nice little side additional thing. I didn't mind it. Spend a few hours on it. But that did affect the story, which was a bit annoying. But multiplayer in Inquisition has nothing to do with the story. I don't think, well, it doesn't affect it in any way. And basically, you play as a preset characters. Like, I think 12 is there, 14 maybe. I don't really know. Maybe I should get my facts straight. But yeah, you get to play as a team, and basically it's like dungeon crawling, which is, it's just cool for me because I think this is a side thing that, and I think I might play this first. Or I'll play a bit of campaign and then I'll play multiplayer because then I can see what class I want to be. If I want to be mage, rogue, or warrior, you know. And it's not taking anything from the single player, in my opinion. It looks like its own thing in a way, and the single player doesn't look like it's been hindered whatsoever. So I think that's just cool. Because if you had your friends join your single player, it may not feel, you may not feel as invested in the world and in that, you know, state of mind. Because when you got your friend playing, you're talking over a headset, you're kind of thinking of them, like talking back and forth, instead of your full focus in this game world, of which is like your own world, because depending on the choices. But because the multiplayer is like dungeon crawling and that, and you're already a preset character, it's basically just for fun with your friends and that, or if you just like to play with other people or try something different, you know. So I'm really glad it's in the game. I think it looks amazing and it just looks so much fun, and that's the main thing at the end of the day. You just want fun, and if it adds more hours to gameplay, then I'm all for it. Anyway, like I said, there's so many doubters for this game, and it's fair enough after what's happened and that, but there's lots of gameplay videos you can check out, trailers, so they're not smoke and mirroring anything with this one, I don't feel like. So you can make your judgment yourself, and you can just wait for the review, okay? Or if you get EA access, if you sell your soul to the devil, you can get this game 5 days earlier, 6-hour trial, unlimited stuff. So it just depends how far you get in the game. That's kind of cool, I guess, but depends if you want to sign that contract. But I just really think that this is going to be an amazing game. I can't wait, and I'm so excited for this game that I'm waiting till Christmas, because then I won't be able to sleep all night and I'll run down in my pyjamas like, what the fuck's a game? And then I just want to play it, because I don't know why. So much more special playing a game on Christmas. I don't know. I just feel like Bioware are caring so much more for this, and EA are letting them do it as well. Like, this game got delayed. It was meant to come out, when was it? Maybe, was it? Yeah, it was meant to come out in 2013 at the end. And it got delayed till like June, and it got delayed again. Which I'm happy for, because you're better off getting a full quality product instead of something that's broken and shit. It just seems like you can even see from all the actions they've done, it really feels like they've listened to the fans, and they're actually just trying to make this game to show that Bioware still is a great company. They can still make great games, and it's kind of their songbird in a way, because I get what I'm really saying. If this fails, it's kind of the end of Bioware. You know, you're not going to think of them as this great legendary company anymore. But I think if it does fail, it's not from them not trying. It's just where something just didn't work. I don't think it will fail though. I think it'll be amazing. So, I can't wait for the game. I hope you can't wait for the game. Please leave your comments if you're excited, or if you hate it, or whatever. I don't know. If you're in between. If you're never heard this game, I don't know, just leave a comment, I guess. So anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's kind of long, and I know it's rambly. I don't really get my points jotted down clearly enough, but when I get excited for something, I just like to talk about it. And I could talk about this game for ages. Like, I'll probably come off this video and I think, oh, why didn't I say that, or have this point like that? It would have been so much better. But hey, I hope kind of help. And if you still think this game doesn't look good, then you know, it's fair enough. But it does feel like they're trying, and I don't think they deserve a lot of the stick they are getting, because I think this game could just I just feel like it's going to be amazing, and hopefully it is. So then, once again, we'll have the Dragon Age game we deserved. And the one that we need right now. See you later. Bye.